Hey planner friends, how's it going? Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. My name is Ryan, and this is A Man with the Plans, and we are back to do a March budget. As you can see here, keeping it simple. Got this fun washi I picked up, I believe in Denmark. It's super cute, just some green polka dots, and then I used the Erin Condren monthly sticker books that I have kind of just collected over the years here, and I use them to just kind of add a little bit of pop of color. But if you're new here, welcome back to the channel. I am all about planning, budgeting, and personal development. And so if you kind of like any of that stuff, I'm gonna go through my budget this month. We've got a little bit of exciting stuff happening here now that the dance season is over. So the way that I roll with my budget here is pretty straightforward. Got the income on the top, expenses on the bottom. I do an estimate and then what actually transpires for the month, and then what I do is over here I track the expenses every single day and then I add them up and kind of keep tabs that way. I also use Rocket Money to just kind of monitor and make sure the numbers are coming in right because it's pulling from a few different accounts. A little bit about me though, I am a 30-something living in Minneapolis, Minnesota, living off of one income, and I've paid over $60,000 in debt all along the way. So student loans, car loans, a little bit of credit card debt here and there, but so this is kind of my financial journey, and this is how I like to keep tabs on what I'm spending and what I'm making. On the other side here, we'll touch on some of my saving strategies and some retirement and investing and then some money goals. So, you know, all good on all fronts. But anyway, without further ado, let's zoom in a little bit to talk about income. So March is one of those fun months. Twice a year it happens where you get 3 paychecks instead of 2, which is super fun and super nifty. It does shift when your bills come, like when your paydays come through, but I don't mind. So 3 paychecks is a lot of extra income, which is super nice. So the way that I like to estimate this is that I generally put the same dollar amount for every single month. For my income, it's generally $2,750 each. They vary a little bit due to like deductions for healthcare and other stuff, but I'm just gonna assume that all 3 are the same, and if they're higher than that, then ooh, that's amazing. In terms of other income, I'm gonna estimate $250. There's still a little bit of income from the dance team season kind of lingering around, so we'll see what comes in. It's also my birthday, so I don't know, maybe I'll get a little bit of a gift or something. But when you add all of this up, my total income for the month, now, I would love if this was every month, but $8,500. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Beautiful. I'm super happy by that number. My goal for the rest of the year is really to focus on kind of how do I get my income up and my expenses down so I can work towards my goals. Love that. But yeah, so that's kind of some of the strategies. You can see at my goals later on at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Moving into the expenses. So I very much like to track everything that I am spending. I know some people kind of do less than this, some people go into super detail, but this is kind of where we're at now. I am saving for a down payment on a house. And so my rent currently is $1,850 a month. And then we have a parking space downstairs in my building, which if you live in Minnesota is required, as well as a storage unit, and that comes out to $253 a month. So overall, that rounds out to just over, it's just around $2,100 a month for living expenses down here in the great city of Minneapolis. Next up is my car insurance. There's also a renter's insurance policy lumped in there, and something else. I can't remember what it is, but it was to help get a bundle. So that's $130 a month. I have been with State Farm for quite a while. I should probably shop around and see, but they've just been pretty good to me, so I really don't feel the need to look. Up next is my utilities. So this is gonna be my water, my sewer, my trash, my heat, my electricity. I'm guessing $150 all told. I don't know. I feel like in the summer my utilities went way up with air conditioning, and then in the winter, since my apartment's pretty well insulated, it's been fairly low, so we'll see. Internet, that is with Xfinity, and that is $90 a month. Love that. And when working from home, that's super important to have some good internet. So gas, I'm gonna put at $250. I have been in the office a lot more, and I've got about a 35-minute drive each way. So I drive a fair bit for work. I'm only in 1 or 2 days a week in the office, but it's been more than that lately. So I'd rather have a bit of a cushion with my gas and kind of go from there. Next up is groceries. I have to tell you, this has been trickier to keep to a budget, but I did have an Instacart like referral thing somehow, and it was like I got $40 off an $80 purchase, so I got some like ground beef and stuff like that from Costco, which I think will help cut down grocery costs, but I'll leave a link to the Instacart thing down below if you wanted to give it a shot. But yeah, it's been tough. Fresh produce and stuff has been super expensive. I've really been loving Aldi for that, but you just have to cook that stuff faster than usual. So I don't know, if you got any grocery tips on how to keep that budget down, let me know. Next up is restaurant. I have that at $250. I'm trying to kind of balance how often I go out to eat, but the trouble is if you're trying to date like I am, it does add up. You know, you don't want to say, hey, let's just grab a coffee. Sometimes you do want to grab a beverage or you want to meet for dinner somewhere. So I'm hoping that that will last me the whole month. Fingers crossed, we'll kind of see. But yeah, the restaurant piece, it's always been an area that I've struggled. I'm a pretty social creature, so trying to go out and see friends and things like that, it's just something I really enjoy. After that, we've got personal, which is all things like hair care, you know, toothpaste, things to clean the apartment, and I have that at $250. I just like having that cushion there, whether I need new clothes, which I really don't need new clothes, but you know, sometimes things just pop up and there's a good sale and you need a little something. This is still a relatively new addition, therapy, so I'm going once a week currently. And so after my insurance, there's about a $45 copay, so I like to just include it within my budget so that I'm tracking it. Next up is my subscriptions. So this is all things like Hulu. I have some stuff for the YouTube channel like Canva, and then TubeBuddy and things like that. Epidemic Sound is also kind of the music that you hear in the back. So things like that I'll add up here. And so that should be around $200. I am looking at some of the ones that I can stop. Like, I always check my subscriptions and I'm like, I'm not really using that, or I'm not really using this. And so trying to get that under control. The next thing is my gym membership, $200 a month. I've really been loving it lately. I'm trying to go 3, 4, even 5 times a week. It's just something that's been really nice for me. Swimming is one of the things I've loved lately, especially when it's like super cold out here, being able to get in the pool. It's been a lovely experience. So my sinking fund, this is how I pre-save for some big expenses that I know are gonna come, like my car tabs, car maintenance, car repair, things like that. So I have a video on it, I'll leave it linked over here. And the idea there is that I spend a little bit of my budget every month putting away for these expenses so that when the time comes to pay for it, I don't actually even need to have it hit my budget. So Go Wild will be in April. I've been paying that a little bit through my sinking fund and haven't had to worry about it, which is so nice. So things like that have been really handy. I really enjoy having it. It's just something that I've gotten the habit of. I have an automatic transfer every time something comes out every 2 weeks, so super easy there. Next up is my Roth IRA. That is $550 a month. I believe I'm pretty close to closing out the 2023 contribution, so we'll start on 2024, which is super exciting. I'm just looking forward to being able to get rolling on that and kind of see some movement there. And last but not least is my M1 Finance, which I have set at $100. I think it's $50 a paycheck. I guess in this case it'd be $150, but we'll see. And then the last piece here is other. I'm supposed to go visit my family down in Florida. My grandmother lives outside of Fort Myers, and my mom and dad will be there for something for my mom's work and then a vacation. So I considered going to visit them. I haven't bought my ticket yet. I was likely going to use miles, but I just like having a little bit of cushion in case something happens. Yeah, I mean, when you add everything up here in terms of expenses, it comes to $5,448. Love that. So there's a lot of wiggle room left in this budget between my $8,500 and my $5,000. This would likely kind of focus into my long-term savings. That's something that I'm hoping I'll be able to kind of really move on this upcoming year, make some strides, be able to make some decisions, have some options as the weather gets a little warmer and I can start looking at houses again and make some informed choices on kind of what my next steps are there. So that is the budget. We're gonna flip the script, if you will. Here we go. And the way that I break this up is really, I've got my savings, things that I'm just squirreling money away for, and then my retirement and my investing. So some long-term rainy day stuff, and then obviously M1 Finance has been a fun fractional share adventure that I've been liking to learn. So that's how I split it up. The way that I have these set up really is where the balance starts at the beginning of the month, if I have to withdraw anything, my contributions, and then the ending balance. So the first thing here is my emergency fund. I've had this since I finished, was it baby step 2? Or 2B or what, I can't even remember, gosh. But I just have $10,000 sitting away, waiting for me if and when something goes wrong or I need to use it for something. It's just there. Thank goodness, knock wood, I haven't really had the opportunity or needed to use it, but again, if and when something happens and I need to tap into this, I would obviously go into rebuilding the savings a bit more and kind of have that just sitting there. So that's something that I have just been committed to. I actually think at some point I'd like to go up to about 12,000, but that's just me. These two things kind of live in the same account. The long-term savings and the emergency fund, they're just in the same bank account, trying to double up on the interest and things like that. But this stays at 10,000, and then this is the thing that's supposed to be growing all the time. So next up here is my sinking fund. I have that sitting at $2,329, and I believe 69 cents, very specific. So I have that on kind of an auto deduct from my my paycheck every month. It just kind of moves itself over. Pretty simple, don't have to worry about it at all, which is super nice. It doesn't gain a ton of interest because things are moving in and out of there, but I just like having it separate. And then my long-term savings, currently this is at $13,299.15. So oops, I did that wrong, but that's okay. So the goal here is that I'll be adding some stuff to this the next coming month to be able to really kind of move that savings along and get that interest rolling a bit. But, you know, I've got some options to see what will kind of come with some of that money. It's nice to just have options and have things kind of saving off in the side. So that wraps up the savings portion of my budget. Next up is retirement and investing. I do work in government, so I am fortunate enough to have a pension. The starting balance of my pension is $43,820.30. This automatically I have to contribute, I think it's pre-tax for work, so that's automatically deducted from each paycheck, and then any interest I have throughout the month, and then my ending balance. So, you know, something that I have to do, but it's nice to be able to have that to my future. Next up is my Roth IRA. The starting balance of this is $22,039.67. So obviously I'll be planning to contribute $5,500 to that if there's any growth. I believe my percent complete is pretty close. I think we're almost done for 2023. I have it in Vanguard, and the other exciting thing is I have an old retirement account that I'll be rolling over into this account. I did all the paperwork and I'm kind of just waiting to see what happens with that. So looking at 2023 here, it's done. Okay, so percent complete for 2023 is 100, but then that means 2024 is 0. So that we'll be able to finally start doing some percentages on that, which is exciting. And then my ending balance we'll kind of check back in at later on. The other exciting thing here is M1. So I've been playing around with M1 Finance for probably almost 3-ish years now, almost 4. And I've literally just been putting, you know, drips and drabs, nothing too crazy, but my account is currently sitting at $6,638.08. So I've been really enjoying it. It makes it a little bit easier to invest when you're not having to buy an entire share of Apple or Tesla or things like that. So I've just enjoyed kind of the process, playing around with it. I have a dividend account. I also have some basic stocks for the S&P 500 and things like that. It's been more of a learning experience for me, but it has grown quite a bit since I started. So I'm pretty happy with how that went, but I also feel like the stock market right now, things do sound pretty good. So what'll happen is I'll put my contributions and then my ending balance will go right here. So yeah, that's really kind of the way that I've been doing my savings and my investing. Now the last part here are my monthly money goals. I like to keep these simple. I'm not really looking to do a target or a quota or anything like that. It's just so that it's top of mind. And the first one is kind of more of a philosophy, and it's be content with what I have already. I feel like contentment is something I'm working on overall. Appreciating the things that I already have, gratitude, things like that just seem to be really important to me. So having that also come out in kind of the way that I'm spending and the way that I'm seeing the world. I don't need everything. I don't need the latest and greatest. I don't need to have this new fun thing. You know, I can be happy with all of the abundance that I have right around me. Just something that I think is important for me. The next one is look for new side hustle opportunities. Now that the judging season is over, I have a little bit more free time, and I started looking at things like Upwork and other pieces to increase my income. And I've really been enjoying exploring that. I haven't gotten a job or anything yet like that, but it's been really fun. And I think this is something that with it just being me, I have the time and space to do that, so why not explore and try to kind of upend my earning a little bit? That's never a bad thing. Earning a bit more money means I can have a bit more options, right? The last piece here is just spend less. February was an expensive month in general. There were just lots of things that came up. You know, the state tournament was such a fun way to end the dance team season, but we all went out, and things just added up a bit more than I had expected. So being able to kind of rein that in and just, again, going back to being content with what I have, you know, hang out at home, don't worry about some of these things, take the pressure off and relax, kind of just how I feel about all of it. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up this video. I'm super excited for March. It's my birthday month, and spring and the end of _1, so you know, here you go. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to follow me over on all the socials, Instagram in particular. I'm @amanwiththeplans over there. If you like my budget content, there's a whole playlist that I will leave linked here for you to explore, some of my debt-free payoffs and things like that. But I hope you have a great week, and what are you planning for the month of March from your budget? What are those big ticket items coming up for you? I love to hear about it in the comments, and we have such a great community down there, so make sure to leave a comment down below. But until next time, I'll catch you later. Bye, planner friends.